Welcome back to Raiding the Crates on DC Radio. We're here with the Prince of Sophisticated Soul, Mr. Will Downing. He's also the host of The Wind Down. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing very well. Good to see you and glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us on this special Raiding the Crates episode. We're celebrating the 4th anniversary of DC Radio. And you were here, actually, for the ribbon cutting 4 years ago.
Absolutely. I was there with Spur of the Moment. I got to meet the mayor, my good friend Angie Gates, AKA the commissioner, the boss. So, it was good to see everybody there. It was a great launching and happy anniversary. Congratulations on 4 years of excellence.
Thank you very much. Let me update the audience who might not know your career. You have been in the business for 33 years, 24 albums, soon to be 25. And that's not counting 4 of the greatest hits albums.
Right.
You are a singer whose voice is one of the most recognizable voices in R&B and jazz. What does this road have been like for you?
Well, you know what? It's been a great one. I started this musical race with a lot of artists, and I've seen them come and I've seen them go. And over the years, record companies that I've been with, they've asked me to kind of change who I am as an artist. And I've always kind of stuck to my guns as far as what I've done musically. And it's sort of worked out for me, be yourself. I've sort of, carved out a niche for myself. If you were to put on like my 25th album and you put on my very first album, musically, they kind of work in tandem. Yeah. So, I've always been myself and it's been a great run and I ain't done. I ain't done yet. As I hear, young folks say, I ain't gonna stop till the casket drops. So, I'm gonna keep making music. So I'm very grateful to still be here on this musical journey. And plus, I'm not smart and good looking like you. So this is the only thing I know how to do. So I got to
I don't know who you're looking at. I'm an old man. Barely hanging on.
Hey, listen, the name of the show is Digging in the Crates. So we're both there together.
We're in the crates.
Right? We in the crates. There you go.
I, like many of your fans, have been following you since 1988, the first album, Will Downing. And on that album, I remember being in the clubs and they put on a song called A Love Supreme. Man, we turned that floor out. We were like, who is that singing that song? Found out it was you. It was great. And then I realized, just doing some research this week, that I've been a fan of yours 2 years before that because I was digging this group called Wally Jump Jr. and the Criminal Element. You guys had this song called Private Party. And as a matter of fact, I played that song about a month ago on the Crates on a 3 a.m. It was a 3 a.m. Club party, I called it. And I've been waiting to play that song. It's 14 minutes, so it took me some time to find a slot for it. So I played it and I was like, I kept saying, who the hell's voice is that? Whose voice is that? And I couldn't find, in the research, I couldn't find who it was. So when I was researching this week and they said your name, I was like, oh my, I should have realized who that was.
Listen, everyone starts, what they say, you don't come from nowhere. So before I became a solo artist, I had been in probably about 5 or 6 groups, and I had probably done 5 or 6, kind of independent, made up name groups. So yeah, Wally Jump Jr. and the Criminal Element was one. I had another group called NV, just the initials N and V, and that was on Sire Records.
I know that. I know that one.
yeah, that's me too. I was on Prelude Records. I was a group, a person or guy named Pilot. And
I know that one.
Yeah,
oh my God.
was me. Yeah, that was me too. There was a movie called The Goonies, and they put out a record by a group called the Goon Squad. It was called Eight Arms to Hold You. That's me. RT and the Rockmen Unlimited. We had a song called I Want to Go to Chicago. That's when house music was really kind of coming into its own thing. So that was me. So I've had tons and tons and tons of records out prior to me becoming a solo artist in '88. So yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen and what you do that makes you get to that next level or that next step. So had it not been for like the Wally Jump Jr. and the Criminal Element record, I would not have become a solo artist.
Crazy as that. I was actually in the studio. I believe it was 91, 92, when you and Rochelle Farrell down here at BET in this very studio we're in right now performed Never Felt Like This Before. That was just an amazing experience.
Oh man, thank
I
you.
Google it all the time just to see that video, see you guys singing that video. That's the first time
Thank
I
you.
actually saw you live.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. No, that record, if I don't do that record to this date when we perform live, it's gonna be some furniture moving. So they don't care for anything else I do. You know, I can sing 50 other songs. They're like, no, you ain't gonna leave this room without singing that song. So, you know, and thank God I have that one and many other ones that comprise a great concert. So, I mean, like as I said before, it's been a great career, man. I'm blessed. I'm truly, truly, truly blessed.
Now, sir, I am a huge fan of the Wind Down because it
Thank you.
comes after my show. So I listen to it with my Shazam on my phone
Oh,
because
okay.
you always introduce new independent artists that the songs that I hadn't heard yet. You get apparently they send them to you first, so you play them, and then it leaves me searching for them on iTunes so I can play them 2 and 3 weeks later, so I don't copy you per verbatim.
There are certain advantages to being an artist and knowing other artists and kind of being on the phone with them all the time. Say, hey man, what you got coming? What you got coming? What you can I hit it first? So I try to take advantage of the little advantages that I have as an artist knowing other artists. But
And I take
yeah,
advantage. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm really proud of the show. Um, there's a lot of shows out there that kind of play the same records over and over and over and over and over again, and that's easy to do. But what you and I do is very unique. We kind of pull from the classics.
Mm-hmm.
Songs that folks probably haven't heard in a very long time, and songs that they probably haven't heard before by their classic artists that they love. And I do the same thing. I kind of pull crates a little bit, but I also introduce new music and we pay tribute to artists as well. And we have a little fun thing in there called interpretations, where it's, one song by two artists. And, it's not supposed to be a competition, but it always turns into a competition. So it's a lot of fun, man. I really enjoy it.
I have to fight the urge to do interpretations because of you. So I got a show coming on in like a few weeks, or had been on a few weeks ago. It's called Covers. So I don't quite copy you. I don't play the original. I just play the other version. So I don't,
Oh,
I don't
no.
want to run it. I don't want to get in trouble with you because I'm not trying to steal interpretation.
Hey, listen, there's always room for one more. Always room. So, if you don't catch it on my show, you can catch Covers on yours.
Amen. So now, how did you hook up with DC Radio to become part of the family?
Well, you know what? My very good friend, Max Myrick, who was there, and also Angie Gates, they heard my show and gave me the opportunity. So, I took full advantage of it. I'm always looking for an outlet to kind of get my artistic whatever out. And they gave me a platform. So DC Radio has been good to me, and DC itself and the surrounding area has always been good to me since the early days. So, yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
How have you been doing since COVID?
I survived like everyone else. We kind of figured it out. I mean, when this thing first kicked in, I don't think anyone really knew what to do because we've never seen anything like this before. But somehow, the phone started ringing. I'm fortunate that I have a studio here in my house, so I did a whole lot of radio shows. Obviously, I dug in my crates and kind of like, okay, well, I got nothing else to do. Let's listen to some music and let's play some music. The phone started ringing for like online performances. I worked on 2 albums, while I was here. So for me, creatively, it worked out great. Everyone here in my house is happy because I got to do all the stuff that I've been lying that I said I was going to do over the years. I'm like, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that one day. It's like, well, we have a year off, so so I did a lot of painting. I did a lot of repairing. I did a lot of everything. So the year was a reflective one and an opportunity for me to catch up on all the things that I said I was going to do. Took us all off the road for a minute so we can rest, and rejuvenate and recharge your battery, for lack of a better phrase. So yeah, it was cool for me. I mean, and thank God we're kind of back to work now. So it worked out. It gave my life some balance.
So during that time, you released, is it Romantique Part
Right.
1 and Part 2, both of
Yep.
them? And you covered some great songs on those albums.
Thank
We
you.
played a number of those songs. And
Thank
then
you.
you released last year, early this year, The Song Garden
The Song Garden, right? Yeah,
with
yeah,
with great songs, especially one called Chocolate.
yeah.
Everybody loves that video and that song.
How did I know that you were going to say that? I mean, it's just an educated guess from an uneducated man. I kind of figured that one out. I was like, I bet you $20 he's going to say chocolate.
I think that song, when I first heard it, I was like, that's a funny song. And then I saw the video, I was like, oh, Lord. And I saw all the responses to it. And I was like, that's the hit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's funny, man, where that song came from. I have a friend who lives in the Atlanta area, and he's a poet. And so every time I would see him, he would always recite one of these poems. And I was like, oh, man, yeah, man, that's great, man. Yeah. I don't have no use for it. So finally, he recited to me this one poem, AKA Chocolate. And I said, that's a bad poem, brother. I said, man, one day I have to do something with it. And I was working on the album and I came up with this groove and I just didn't know what to say. It was a sexy groove. And I was like, I don't know what to sing on top of this. I said, wait a minute. My man had this poem called Chocolate. I said, I wonder if it'll work. So I called him up. He sent me the poem and I just started reciting it. And of course, there's some humor in it as well, but there's plenty of humor in it. But it's sexy. And so I said, I'm going to leave it like this. I mean, I haven't really done like a spoken word piece before. So I think I did one a long time ago, but I just sort of decided that I just wanted to leave it as that. And then when we finished it, we were all kind of laughing and chuckling about it. I said, we should do a video with all these good looking chocolate men that women will go crazy for. And so we compiled all these images of good looking men and put it together. And the women went absolutely nuts for this video. So I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those songs, along with Nothing Has Ever Felt, and I Go Crazy, and I Try in a Million Ways, and After Tonight, it's going to be one of those songs that if I don't do it live, it's going to be some furniture movie.
It's going to be some furniture movie. Now, you say you're back on the road again, touring. You just recently were in the DC area for the Capitol Jazz Fest. How is touring going?
Well, you know what? We're back. It's funny, you don't know how to act because you really don't. I mean, even here, I walk around sometimes, even now, I walk around sometimes, I have my mask on, I see a whole bunch of people without it on, and like you start to feel crazy. Or you're on the stage and you want to touch someone or someone wants to touch you, you don't know how to act, so it's a funny situation from that standpoint. From an outlet standpoint, this time that we've had off made you realize how much you love and miss what you do. Mm-hmm. So getting back on that stage and getting the adulation from the audience that's listening to you and the enjoyment that you see on their faces, and it just makes you feel good. So it's a great feeling. It makes you realize how grateful you should be to be able to do what you're doing to make a living.
Now you're getting ready to release a 25th album, right? And it's called Sophisticated Soul.
Right, Sophisticated Soul on the Sophisticated Soul label. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask you. Is that your label?
It is my label. Yeah. I've been putting out records on Sophisticated Soul probably for the last, I'd say 10 or so years. When I left the major label, prior to that. And yeah, it's a great feeling, which is why I put out music so frequently. Had I been with a major label, I'm sure that would not be the case. So, having my own label allows me the opportunity to dance to my own beat. So that's why every year I put out like a new record, or every year I might put out 2 records. So, it's a great outlet. It's great to have that ability to do that.
Well, Mr. Downing, we have enjoyed having you on.
Wait a minute, hold on. Did you say Mr. Downing? You had me nervous. I'm looking for my dad. Wait, is he back?
I'm trying to be a little bit respectful at the end.
I'm just old Will. I'm just Will. That's all.
Will, thank you for coming on Raiding the Crates and celebrating the 4th anniversary of DC Radio with us.